I never thought I'd wake up in my sister's body, staring at my own face in the mirror, plotting how to dismantle the empire my family built on my broken back. The night before the swap, I'd signed away my last shred of sanity to a back-alley neurotech hacker in Brooklyn, whispering, "Make me her, and I'll make them all pay." But as I slipped into Victoria's skin, her flawless cheekbones, her designer gown hugging curves I'd envied for years, the real shock hit. My husband, the man who'd vowed forever, was already in her bed, and the lies they'd spun about me being unhinged had buried me alive long before this. My name is Evelyn Harper, or at least it used to be.
Now,
I'm trapped in this gilded cage of a life that was never mine, wearing the face of Victoria Voss, my older sister, the golden child, the one who always got the corner office and the corner suite. It's been 3 months since the swap, and every morning I choke down her kale smoothies and force a smile for her boardroom buddies, all while the rage boils like acid in my gut. But let's rewind to before the madness. Before the betrayal that carved me hollow and left me clawing for vengeance in a body that isn't mine. It started in the summer of 24, in that sprawling McMansion in Greenwich, Connecticut, where the Voss family fortune, built on Daddy's hedge fund empire, shielded us from the grit of the real world. I was 28, fresh off a psych degree from Yale, interning at a nonprofit in Stanford, dreaming of therapy clinics for underserved kids. Modest goals for a Voss. I know. Victoria, 32 and already VP at Voss Capital, laughed at my do-gooder delusions. She was the sharp bob haircut, Louboutins that clicked like guillotine blades, and a laugh that could disarm a Senate hearing. And then there was Mark, the steady anchor in my stormy sea. We'd met at a rooftop bar in the city 3 years prior, him nursing a bourbon after a brutal day as a junior prosecutor in the DA's office. He had that quiet intensity, the kind that made you feel seen, not just tolerated. "You're not like the rest of them, Ev," he'd say, tracing my freckles under the string lights. "You're real." Our wedding was planned for that fall, simple, beachside in the Hamptons.
just close friends and family.
No Voss extravagance, much to Mother's chagrin. Lydia Voss, the ice queen in pearls and power suits, had clawed her way up from a trailer in Ohio to hostesses at the Met Gala. She adored Mark at first. Such potential. Evelyn. Don't screw it up. But whispers started seeping in like damp rot. Late-night calls from Victoria. Ev, you okay? You seem off lately. Off. I'd been popping Ambien to sleep through the stress of planning. Sure. But who wouldn't? Mark noticed too, his brow furrowing over dinner.
Babe.
Maybe talk to someone. The family's worried.
The family's worried.
God. That phrase haunted me. It was the opening salvo in their war. I didn't know it then, but Victoria had been circling Mark like a barracuda for months. She'd accidentally bumped into him at charity galas, her hand lingering on his arm a beat too long. He's wasted on your little crusades. Ev, she'd murmur when I caught her staring. But betrayal doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It slithers in on silk sheets. The night it shattered was a Thursday in July, the air thick with humidity and the buzz of cicadas outside the estate's pool house. I'd come home early from a shift, arms full of takeout from that hole-in-the-wall Thai place Mark loved, Pad CEW with extra lime. His guilty pleasure. The main house loomed like a white elephant, all columns and chandeliers. But we crashed in the guest wing for privacy. I pushed open the door, the scent of jasmine candles hitting me first, then the murmur of voices.
Low. Intimate.
Her voice, Victoria's, purring like velvet over gravel. She's unraveling.
Mark.
The pills. The breakdowns. You deserve stability. Someone who can match you, not drag you down. I froze in the foyer, heart hammering against my ribs. Mark's reply was a mumble, but it sliced deeper than any shout. I know.
Vic.
It's just. I love her. But lately. That word was the first crack in the dam. I didn't burst in. I slunk back, phone in hand, recording the rest through the cracked door. Victoria, perched on our couch in a slinky black dress that screamed seduction, not sisterly concern. Daddy agrees. We've seen it before, mother's side of the family. The instability. Remember Aunt Clara? Locked away by 40. You can't build a life on quicksand, darling.
Lies.
All of it. Aunt Clara had lupus, not schizophrenia. But facts never stopped a Voss narrative. They didn't see me slip away. Didn't hear the front door click shut like a coffin lid. I drove to the city, blind with tears, crashing at a Fleabag motel off the turnpike. That night, I swallowed a handful of whatever was in my purse, Advil, Xanax, regret, and woke up in a psych ward 2 days later. Tubes snaking into my arms. Mother's face hovering like a judgmental moon.
Oh.
Evelyn. What have you done? What had I done? Nothing. But they had. The intervention was swift. Family meeting in the solarium. Mark at the head of the table. Victoria flanking him like a sentinel. Daddy, Charles Voss. Silver fox with a Rolodex that could topple governors, laid it out plain. Evelyn's not well. Son. We've arranged for her to get help. Real help. Away from the stress. Stress meaning my job, my dreams, my marriage. Mark nodded, eyes downcast. The man I'd loved reduced to a puppet on Voss strings. I think. Yeah. Space would be good. For both of us.
Space.
It was code for divorce papers overnight to the facility in upstate New York, where they committed me under a temporary hold. Acute manic episode, the doctor droned, clipboard in hand, while Victoria sobbed crocodile tears in the waiting room. She's always been fragile. But we'll take care of her. Take care of her. Like a stray dog you poison quietly. The lies spread faster than West Nile in a heat wave. Social media first. Anonymous posts on family group chats. Then concerned leaks to Mark's colleagues. Evelyn's off her meds again. Hallucinations. Better to cut ties before kids are involved. My nonprofit fired me remotely. Liability concerns, and friends ghosted. One by one. Even my best pal from college texted. Heard you're struggling. Sending love.
But.
Maybe focus on you.
Focus on me.
While Victoria swooped in. The savior. Consoling Mark over tragic bottles of Opus 1. I rotted in that ward for 6 weeks. Therapy sessions peeling back layers of gaslit doubt. Was I crazy? The shrink said no, situational depression. Exacerbated by betrayal, but the Voss machine churned on. Discharge day. Mother picked me up in the Bentley. Victoria riding shotgun like she'd claimed the throne. We're moving you to the city apartment.
Dear.
Fresh start. And Mark.
Well.
He's seeing someone. It's for the best. Seeing someone. The knife twisted. Back in Manhattan. In that sterile Tribeca loft that smelled of Victoria's Chanel No. 5. I pieced it together. hacked her email from a shared family account, sloppy. Bosses. Thread after thread. Her plotting with mother. Daddy's advice to Mark laced with veiled threats to his career. We can make things difficult at the DA's. Charles. And the secret, the buried bomb they'd pinned on me. 10 years prior. When I was 18 and Victoria 22, she'd crashed Daddy's Porsche into a guardrail during a bender. High on coke from a Wall Street afterparty.
QI.
Underage drinking. The works. But I, sweet, responsible Evelyn, took the fall. Switched places at the scene. Lied to the cops. Because family protects family. It cost me my scholarship. A juvie record expunged but scarred. And a lifetime of their gratitude turned weapon. You owe us. Ev. Victoria had hissed that night. Blood on her lip. My hands shaking on the wheel. Owe them. For burying her crime under my name. Whispering it was my impulse control issues that started it all. That debt. It fueled the fire. Alone in the loft. Staring at the skyline that mocked my ruin. I made the call. Found him through dark web forums, Rico. A rogue neuroengineer from MIT. Blackballed for ethical lapses. Body swaps. Not sci-fi anymore. Not in 2025. With neural lace implants and AI mapping synapses. Illegal as hell. Sure. But for $50,000, my severance scraped together, it was doable. One night. 2 chairs in his Astoria basement. Wires humming like vengeful bees. Irreversible, he warned. Eyes gleaming behind smudged glasses. You sure? I nodded. Thinking of Mark's ring on Victoria's finger. The wedding invites already printing. Make me her. The swap hit like drowning in lightning. I woke gasping in her body taller.
Kavya.
The ache of her hangover pounding my temples. Across the room. In mine. Victoria blinked. Confused. Then horrified. What the fuck? Ev? You psycho bitch. But Rico had the failsafe, a neural lock. Keyed to my biometrics. She couldn't scream. Couldn't move until I said so. I leaned in. Our faces inches apart. Hers mine. Mine hers, and whispered, Welcome to hell. Sis. Now, it's your turn to play fragile. I bundled me into a cab. Shipped her to a private clinic in the Adirondacks, same one that had cured Aunt Clara. Severe episode, I told the docs. Voice cracking in Evelyn's timid timbre. Families at their wits' end. They bought it. Hook and sinker. Victoria Voss. Queen of the boardroom. Reduced to babbling in a straitjacket. Her empire crumbling from the inside. As Victoria, I stepped back into the life. Mark was waiting at the penthouse. Tie loosened. That boyish grin I once melted for. Vic, you okay? You look different.
Ha.
I pulled him close, inhaling the cologne that used to be mine, and lied through teeth that weren't. Just a long day.
Babe.
Missed you. That night. In sheets still scented with my ghost. I fucked him with a detachment that scared even me, mechanical, probing for weaknesses. He came whispering Victoria, and I swallowed bile. Plotting. The wedding loomed, a Voss spectacle at the plaza. $2 million blowout to seal the merger of hearts and hedge funds. Mother cooed over fittings. Daddy schmoozed donors. Oblivious to the imposter in pearls. I played the part. Brunches at San Ambrias. Pilates with influencers. Dropping hints about poor Evelyn's relapse to Mark's ear. She's dangerous now.
Mark.
Delusional. Thinks we're the enemy. Lies on lies. The web tightening. But revenge isn't a sprint, it's a slow bleed. First target. The family secret. I accessed Daddy's files from Victoria's laptop, offshore accounts, insider trades skirting SEC lines. Nothing prosecutable yet, but leverage. A anonymous tip to a reporter at the Journal. Voss Capital skeletons, starting with a covered-up DUI that ruined a daughter's life. The story dropped mid-September. Ripples turning to waves. Daddy's face on CNBC. Sweating under studio lights. Baseless rumors. But the feds knocked anyway. Subpoenas flying. Victoria, in my skin, raged from her padded cell, smuggled notes via a bribed orderly. "I'll kill you for this." I wrote back. "You already did, sis." Remember the Porsche? Her screams echoed in my dreams. But I pressed on. Mark grew distant. The wedding stress mounting. "Vic, your family's imploding." And Evelyn. God. The guilt.
Guilt.
I pounced, tears streaming down this stolen face. "It's not your fault. She was always broken. We can be better, stronger." He bought it.
For now.
But cracks showed. Late nights at the office. Texts from old friends asking after me. The real me. By October, the swaps toll gnawed. Neural drift. Rico called it memories bleeding. Identities blurring. I'd catch my reflection and flinch. Who am I? Evelyn the Avenger? Or Victoria the Viper? But quitting wasn't an option. The rehearsal dinner approached. A powder keg of champagne and resentment. The plaza's grand ballroom glittered like a fever dream that night, crystal chandeliers dripping light onto tables swathed in ivory linens. The air thick with orchids and old money. I stood at the top of the marble staircase in Victoria's custom Vera Wang, the bodice cinched like a corset of lies. Watching the guests mill below. Senators. CEOs. The Voss machine in full spin. Mother glided through. Air-kissing cheeks. Her laugh a practice trill. "Victoria. Darling. You radiant. Mark's a lucky man. Lucky. If she only knew the devil in her daughter's dress." Mark waited at the altar setup.
Tucked sharp as a switchblade.
Eyes scanning for me, her, with that mix of adoration and unease I'd planted like weeds. We'd argued that morning. My Victoria voice laced with venom. If you still pine for her ghost, call it off. He'd backpedaled. Promises tumbling out. But doubt festered.
Good. Doubt was my scalpel.
The dinner kicked off with toasts, Daddy's booming. Invoking legacy and love, code for stock prices and alliances. I sipped Veuve, the bubbles bitter on this tongue, and waited for my moment. When the mic circled to me, I rose, glass raised, channeling Victoria's poise with Evelyn's undercurrent of steel. "To family," I said, voice echoing off gilded walls. "The ones who bind us. And the ones we bury." Murmurs rippled, polite confusion. I pressed, like secrets. Old crashes, swapped blames. Some debts never clear. Eyes widened. Mother choked on her escargot. Daddy's fork clattered. Mark frowned. "Vic? What?" I let it hang. Smile serene. Then segued to banalities about eternal bonds. But the seed was sown. Whispers buzzed through dessert, guests Googling Voss scandals on diamond-encrusted phones. By midnight, as the string quartet played Cole Porter, a side door swung open. Feds in off-rack suits, badges flashing. "Charles Voss? We need to talk." Daddy blanched, ushered away, Mother followed, hissing at me. What have you done? Victoria? What had I done? Unmask the rot. In the powder room, I texted Rico from a burner. Status? His reply. Drift at 40%. Push too hard. You lose yourself. Lose myself. I already had flashes of Victoria's memories intruding, her first boardroom kill, the thrill of a hostile takeover. But I shoved them down, reapplying lipstick that wasn't mine. Mark cornered me in the coat check, breath hot with scotch. Explain.
Now.
I spun the tale, half-truth. All venom. Evelyn's behind the leaks. From the ward. She's obsessed. Mark. Poisoning us all. His face crumpled. Pity for me. Suspicion for her.
God. Vic.
I thought we were past this.
Past this.
He pulled me close, but his embrace felt like chains. I endured, whispering, marry me tomorrow. Shut her out forever. The wedding dawned gray, November chill seeping through Central Park's bare branches. St. Patrick's Cathedral loomed, stone facade indifferent to the storm brewing inside. Guests shivered in pews, fewer than planned, defections from the scandal's fallout. Daddy was out on bail. Facing SEC scrutiny, Mother popped Valium like Tic-Tacs. Victoria's bridesmaids, frat girl clones in seafoam silk, fussed over my veil. Oblivious. In the sacristy, mirror-framed, I stared at this face. High cheekbones, ice blue eyes that screamed Voss entitlement. But beneath, Evelyn simmered, the girl who'd bandaged knees for neighborhood kids, who'd believed in redemption. The swap's bleed was worsening. Last night, I dreamed in Victoria's voice, closing deals over corpses. Wake up,
Ev.
I hissed to my reflection. This ends today. The organs swelled as I processed. Arm looped through Daddy's, his grip bruising. A warning. Fix this.
Victoria.
Or else. Or else what? Cut me from the will? Too late. I'd already rerouted funds from her accounts to untraceable crypto. A digital trail leading back to Evelyn's delusions. Mark at the altar. Vows scripted by lawyers. Not lovers. Mark Riley. Take the... Victoria. The words blurred. Was this justice or just another cage? Then the twist. The door to my hell cracked wider. Midway through the rings. A commotion at the nave. Paramedics. Stretchers.
Shouts.
Clear a path. My heart seized. They wheeled in a gurney, strapped down. Wild-eyed. My face twisted in rage. Evelyn's face. Victoria. Escaped or sprung. Thrashing against restraints. It's me, Mark. It's Evelyn. She's stolen my life. Stop this. Gasps cascaded like dominoes. Mother swooned into an usher's arms. Guests whipped out phones. Live streaming the meltdown. Mark staggered. Ring box tumbling. What the Ev?
How?
Victoria, froze. The cathedral spinning. She'd broken free. The neural lock frayed by my own drift. Her voice. My voice. She swapped us. That psycho hacked Rico. The basement. She's been me. Ruining everything. Chaos erupted. Ushers scrambling. Bishops sputtering Latin. I bolted. Veil snagging on a pew. Heels skidding on polished marble. Out the side door, into the park. Lungs burning. This body's athleticism a curse. Sirens wailed. I'd planned exposure. Not this farce. Behind me, Victoria's shrieks. Evelyn, you bitch. Give it back. I ducked into the frick. Tourists parting like the Red Sea. Then out-of-service exit to a waiting Uber, prearranged. Driver clueless. Heart pounding. I ditched the gown in an alley, emerging in jeans and a hoodie from Victoria's gym bag. The city swallowed me, horns blaring, but safety was illusion. My phone, her phone, lit up. Mark. Vic, WTF is happening? Ev's here. Raving. Police incoming.
Police.
Of course. Voss strings pulled tight. I smashed the device under a boot that wasn't mine. Then another call from Rico.
Told you.
Drift hit 60%. She's destabilizing in your shell. Get back for reversal, now. Reversal. The word dangled like a noose. Undo it, and I lose the leverage. The payback. But keep it, and I dissolve into her, ruthless.
Hollow.
Hold up in a NoHo walk-up Rico provided, peeling wallpaper. Futons sagging like defeat, I paced. Neural hum a constant buzz. News alerts pinged on the burner. Heiress wedding crash, mental breakdown or hoax. Pundits on CNN dissected. Voss family curse strikes again? Victoria, in my body, was sedated and shuttled back upstate, but not before spilling to Mark. He'd filed a missing persons on Victoria, cops canvassing. The feds leaned harder on Daddy. The DUI story morphing into embezzlement probes, my anonymous breadcrumbs paying dividends. But the real war was internal. Memories fused, my prom night awkwardness bleeding into Victoria's coke-fueled raves, her boardroom triumphs souring my non-profit ideals. I caught myself negotiating rent with the super in her clipped tone, then recoiled. Who was I becoming? The controversial call came that night. Staring at the reversal kit Rico couriered, vials, wires, a one-way ticket to normalcy. Destroy it, and finish the revenge, expose the whole rotten core. Frame Victoria for the hacks. Watch the Vosses burn. Or reverse. Slink back to Evelyn's shell, shattered, but whole, and let karma limp along. I chose fire. Smashed the kit underfoot, glass crunching like bones. Dawn broke as I geared up, fake ID. Encrypted drive with the kill shot evidence, Daddy's emails admitting the Porsche frame. Victoria's sex to Mark pre-betrayal. Mother's psych eval forgeries. Target, the family gala that weekend. Black tie fundraiser at the Met. They'd rally. Spin the tragedy into sympathy bucks. I'd crash it. Victoria style. Bold. Unapologetic. Prep was guerrilla. Hair dyed ash blonde to blur the swap's tells. Contacts warming these blue eyes to hazel. I hit up old contacts from my nonprofit days, hacktivists who'd owed me favors for pro bono cyber clinics. Leak this at the gala, I instructed. Uploading files. Time-stamped. Irrefutable. Make it viral. They grinned through screens. For the little guy? Ev? Hell yeah. The gala night thrummed with hypocrisy. Philanthropists in tuxes toasting social good, while underpaying staff. I slipped in as Elena Voss, a fabricated cousin. Badge swiped from a caterer's tray. The hall pulsed. Jazz trio. Caviar stations. Daddy holding court by the Egyptian wing. Mother simpering beside. Mark lurked at the bar. Hollow-cheeked. Nursing a Macallan. Our eyes met, his widening in confusion. Mine steady, with borrowed steel. Victoria, he breathed. Stepping close. Scotch breath mingling with my pilfered perfume. Where? The wedding? Ev. I cut him off. Voice low. Victoria's lilt masking Evelyn's tremor. Not her.
Mark.
Not anymore. His confusion deepened. Perfect. I leaned in, lips brushing his ear. You chose wrong. But I'll fix it. Before he could react, I pulled the flash drive from my clutch, tiny, innocuous, and plugged it into the AV console behind a velvet rope. Hackers away, projectors flickered, the keynote speech hijacked. Daddy's face filled the screens, grainy email chains, voice memos admitting. Evelyn took the heat for Vic's mistake. Keeps the fun clean. Gasp swelled, then Victoria's text to Mark, she's crumbling.
Be mine.
Mother's forged reports. Patient exhibits paranoia. Recommend indefinite commitment. The room froze. Then erupted. Phones out. Flashes popping. Security swarming. I melted into the crowd. But Mark lunged, grabbing my wrist. Who are you? Desperation cracked his voice. I wrenched free, hissing, the wife you discarded. The sister they broke. His eyes, oh God. Those eyes, flared with recognition. Horror dawning. Evelyn? How? No time. I shoved through, out into the Met steps. Night air slapping like judgment. Sirens wailed distant. The Voss's world imploded behind marble columns. But victory soured fast, neural spike. Vision tunneling. Drift at 80%. Rico's ghost voice warned. I stumbled into a cab, directing to Astoria. Body rebelling, convulsions, voices overlapping, Victoria's cackle.
My sobs.
Rico's basement waited, dim and dank, equipment humming betrayal. Too late for full reverse, he muttered, strapping me down. Partial sync. Best case. You'll share her forever.
Share.
A hybrid horror. As needles pierced, I flashed on the Portia night. Victoria's plea. My foolish loyalty. Was this revenge, or just trading cages? Sync hit like a freight train, synapses firing. Selves colliding. I woke to quiet, staring at hands that felt.
Both.
Evelyn's calluses under Victoria's manicure. The news played muted. Voss empire in freefall. Daddy indicted. Mother retreating to the Hamptons. Victoria, released on technicalities, vanished rumors of a Swiss clinic. Nervous exhaustion.
Mark?
Resigned from the DA. Whispers of a tell-all book. But me? I rose. Hybrid. Hole and fracture. The controversial truth. I'd become the monster to slay one. Walking Fifth Avenue at dawn. 2 souls in one skin. I wondered, justice or just another lie? 2 weeks post-sync. And the bleed had settled into an uneasy truce, Evelyn's empathy tempering Victoria's edge. Her cunning sharpening my dull ache. I kept the hybrid shell, ditching both names for Ella Voss, a ghost in the machine. The city pulsed indifferent, yellow cabs slashing rain-slick streets, steam rising from grates like vengeful spirits. I holed up in a Bushwick loft, anonymous. Cash rented, piecing a new life from the ashes. No more nonprofits or boardrooms, freelance consulting, gray area gigs for whistleblowers, turning betrayal into bread. The fallout rippled wide. Daddy's fund hemorrhaged clients, stock plunging like a bad acid trip. He lawyered up in a Park Avenue fortress. But the feds carved deeper. RICO charges looming. The Porsche frame just the appetizer. Mother sold the Greenwich pile at fire sale prices, fleeing to Palm Beach with a Xanax prescription and a boy toy half her age. Disowned, her last email spat, CC'd to family ghosts. Disowned. The word tasted like vindication, laced with void. Victoria surfaced in fragments, pap shots from Zurich, gaunt in oversized coats, eyes hollowed by the swap's echo. She'd spilled to tabloids. My sister's madness stole my soul, but no one bit. Too sci-fi. Too Voss crazy. Mark hunted her trail. Then mine, voicemail stacking. Ev? Vic? Whoever, talk to me. I fucked up. Let me fix.
Fix.
As if a signature could mend the marrow-deep wound. I avoided him. But the pole gnawed, that old gravity. Warp now. One night, impulse or masochism, I met him at our old spot, the rooftop bar in Soho. String lights flickering like faulty hope. Winter bit hard. Coats mandatory. The skyline a jagged scar. He arrived rumpled, stubble shadowing jaw. Eyes red-rimmed from nights I could only guess at. Ella, he tested, voice cracking on the alias. Or, Ella, I confirmed, sliding onto a stool, ordering bourbon neat his drink. My armor. We talked circles, the wedding farce, the leaks, the delusions that weren't. He owned it. Haltingly, they got to me.
Ev.
Lydia. Charles pressure on the job. Veiled threats. Victoria. She was safe. Familiar. But you were everything. Everything. Past tense knifed. I leaned in. Hybrid gaze unflinching, Victoria's blue piercing his brown. Safe's a cage.
Mark.
You locked me in it. He flinched, but pressed. The swap, Rico? How far did it go? I laughed. Bitter fizz. Far enough to taste your regret. Confessions spilled then, his guilt-fueled benders. Therapy sessions dissecting the gaslight. Mine, the portionite. The debt that birthed this beast. I took her full, I whispered. And they buried me for it. Dawn crept as we walked the high line. Frost crunching under boots. The Hudson a black mirror. He reached for my hand, hesitant. Electric.
Come back.
Weary build. Rebuild. The offer dangled. Controversial fork. Forgive. Fold into normalcy. Or burn the bridge final. Evelyn yearned for the man who'd held her through storms. Victoria scoffed men were pawns. Discardable. I chose the blaze. Pulled away. Voice steady splice. Too late.
Mark.
You married a lie. Live with her ghost. His face fractured, shock. Sorrow. A flicker of relief? He nodded, vanishing into the subway maw. Last tether snapped. Alone again. But freer. The real climax brewed, not in gala hacks, but quiet reckonings. I tracked Victoria to a villa outside Geneva. Neutral ground. White flag vibes. Flew coach. Nerves jangling. The hybrid hum a low roar. She answered the door haggard, my old freckle sallow. Hair hacked uneven. You, she spat, but stepped aside. The place screamed exile. Half-packed boxes. Wine stains on rugs. We circled like duelists in the sunroom. Alps mocking through windows. Give it back, she demanded. Voice my echo. The reversal, Rico said partial. I shook my head, perched on a chaise that smelled of defeat. Shared now. Your ruthlessness. My heart. Fitting penance. Rage flared, she lunged, nails raking this shared skin. We tumbled, a tangle of selves, her snarls, my sobs, accusations flying. You stole my life. You stole mine first, the crash. The lies. Truth cracked open then, mid-scuffle, her whisper.
Broken.
I didn't want it. The marriage. The throne. Daddy pushed legacy.
Control.
Mark was bait. To break you. Make you pliable.
Bait.
The reversal twist, not malice pure, but machine gears grinding daughters to dust. I loved you.
Ev.
Still do. But vases don't bend, they break.
Love.
The word disarmed. Hybrid heart fracturing. We parted not enemies, but mirrors damaged, debating our own monstrosity. She kept my shell, I hers, a swap eternal. Penance perpetual. Back in Bushwick. Spring thawed the grit. I launched a podcast, swapped secrets, anonymized tales of betrayal. Gaslight unmasked. Listeners flooded. Survivors. Skeptics. Sparking forums ablaze. Hero or villain? Threads debated. Evelyn the martyr turned avenger. Or Victoria's shadow puppeteering chaos. Comments warred. She deserved it. Family like that? Burn it down. Versus. Vigilante justice?
Nah.
Therapy and law. Mark resurfaced once. A letter. No return. Whoever you are now, you're free. I hope that's enough. Enough. It was the hook's echo. The shocks fade. I framed it by the window. City humming below. In the end, the happy or tragic, hinged on lens, Voss empire dust. Secrets exhumed.
But me?
A mosaic self. Walking tense streets with purpose. Revenge wasn't closure, it was evolution. Controversial as hell. Would I swap again? For justice? Maybe. For love? Never. But as twilight bled gold over Brooklyn, I raised a glass to the ghost in the mirror, Evelyn, Victoria, Ella, and toasted, to the buried alive. We rise. The debate lingers. Reader, was it triumph? Or just another pretty cage? You decide.